What up, peeps? It's your boy Heckin Steve. Welcome back to the channel. And today I want to talk to you about GameStop and how GameStop ain't that bad. So I know that they don't do everything perfect, right? Some of the stuff they do is lame. Like gutting new copies of games. The stickers have gotten a lot better, but they used to be a lot worse. But there's just a lot of people online that talk smack about GameStop. And the thing is like, it's really not that bad. Like, if you know how to shop there, you can have a great experience. And these resellers, okay, talking about them, they like to dunk on GameStop all the time. They say that they don't give you a lot for your games when you trade them in. Well, it's not like when you buy their games from them, like when you, as a reseller, go to a yard sale and buy somebody's stuff for like $2 when it's worth like $50. How's that any better? And you can get good trade-in values from GameStop if you know how to trade, if you know when to trade, with the trade boost and bonuses, get an extra 20% or 30% or 15% towards a new game or blah, blah, blah. You can make out pretty well. And in fact, my last trade-in at GameStop, which I don't trade in very often, but my last trade-in, I got $70 for 3 games. I ended up getting College Football 25 for free, basically. Or not free, but like an even swap. And I just want to preface this by saying, I worked at GameStop for almost 2 years, back in 2009, 2010. I was there for the midnight release of Call of Duty Black Ops, and it was awesome. And Halo Reach. I worked the midnight release for Halo Reach. I miss midnight releases. Those were so fun. I do have their GameStop credit card. Now, I know a lot of people, they like to talk shit about this thing because of the interest rates on it and stuff. But here's the thing. If you know how to use a credit card, the interest rates don't fucking matter. So, like, if it's, I don't even know what it is. I think it's 34% or something. But you got to understand, that's split into 12 months. So, really, it's like 3% a month. And I only have a $250 limit, which I think is perfect for a GameStop credit card. You do not need to have a $1,000 limit, $2,000 limit on a GameStop credit card. So, I mean, $250, I mean, that's pretty manageable. And every time you buy something, you get times 4 the points per dollar. So you get a crap ton of rewards points. And just from March until now, which is the end of December of this year, I've gotten $85 in discounts from rewards points redemptions. And you also get a free year of the Pro membership when you get the card. So I didn't even have to pay the $25 for the yearly membership. But you got to remember also, every month with that membership, they give you a $5 discount to use towards any purchase. So, I mean, right there, I mean, that's $60 a year, $5 per month. Now, you have to go in and you have to use it every month. You can't stack them or anything like that. But, I mean, that's their way of kind of incentivizing you to at least come to their store once a month, which I think is the perfect amount of times to go to a GameStop, once a month. And so you think about it right there. Just shopping there and having this credit card, which in total this year, I think I paid $6 in interest. Like maybe I made a minimum payment for 1 month and then, and then I did the, I paid off the full balance the next month or whatever. But I mean, $6 versus $85 plus $60, that's like $145 in savings. That's a pretty generous trade. And, these resellers, they talk shit about GameStop all the time. And but then they, film themselves buying their games for cheap in their stores and flipping them online. You know what I mean? Or they dunk on their trade values, like I mentioned earlier. And then, but they have no problem. Like, I just watched Sick Cooper. He did a video talking about trading in Pokemon games to GameStop. And he was, like, flipping out that they were, like, giving you very low amounts of trade-in credit or cash for Pokemon games. And the thing is like, he's totally fine when Retro Rick or Chase After the Right Price or Phoenix Resale lowballs the hell out of people and then sells it for way more than it should go for. Totally fine with that. But whenever GameStop offers it, it's a problem. And here's the thing. The reason that the trade-in values are so low at GameStop is because GameStop runs off of their own pricing value system. They don't use price charting because they don't fucking... Price charting is not like a legitimate thing. You know what I mean? That just like kind of was adopted by the general population as the gospel on what things are worth. And for the most part, I mean, it's kind of accurate. But the thing is, like, GameStop, they don't work like that, okay? And like I said, I used to work there, so I understand it a little bit better than the average person who hasn't. But basically, if GameStop has, you know, millions of copies of Madden 24 in their database, like between all their stores and their warehouses, then the trade-in value of this game is going to be super cheap because they don't need it. So they kind of lower the trade-in value to basically say, you shouldn't trade this game in, but if you do, we're going to give you very little for it since we are overly stocked on it, you know, or we have way too many of it. So that's how GameStop's trade-in thing works. You know, like if they have a bunch of something, then they offer a lot less than it. Now there is a cap per title and stuff. So I mean, like if they didn't have any copies of Madden 24, it's not like they're going to turn around and be like, well, now we'll give you $15 for it, even though it's almost 2 years old at this point, or a year and a half old. It's not how that works at all. And then Pokemon games, you know, they sell them like Pokemon Emerald, okay? They give you, I think, $11 to $14 in credit for that game at GameStop. But they sell it for $54.99, you know? And then if you look on price charting, that game on the market outside of GameStop's realm goes for like $200 loose. So, you know, there's a big discrepancy there. And that's what Sid Cooper was really pointing out in his video. He's saying, I give 60%, 70% of price charting value for games, and GameStop's over here giving you nothing. But then again, I mean, they're giving you like almost a fourth of what they sell it for, you know? So that's like 30, 25%. So, yeah. But the thing is, too, is like with GameStop, they do have an employee issue. They don't get the proper training, or they don't care because, you know, it's all about just whatever the goals are that GameStop has set out for those employees. So you do see a lot of fake games get traded in, unfortunately, and those are definitely highlighted by people here on YouTube because it's easy to dunk on GameStop. It's a free topic for a video. I mean, hell, I'm just doing it right here, but I'm not trying to dunk on them. I'm actually trying to let you guys know that it's not that bad, man. Like, honestly, it's pretty great. I'm having a ball with it. You don't necessarily need to pre-order games, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to do that, but I still do that. I like to pre-order games because that's an affordable way to buy games. You know, with games being $69.99, you could pre-order a game for $5, but you could put whatever amount down that you want. So I mean, if you pre-order a game that's coming out in like 6 months, for example, and you put $5 down, and then the next month you come in, you spend your $5 discount coupon, you could put another $5 down, you know, and you just do that for 6 months, and then what's that, like half the game is paid off? Or you could put $10 down here, $15 down here, $5 there. By the time the game comes out, you don't have to pay anything. You just got to go pick it up. So there's a lot of advantages to having a store like that. And not only that, but, you know, you could use PayPal to pay on the website and do pickup in the store. Like when I bought my PS5 Slim a month ago, I used PayPal Pay in 4, you know, because it was on sale for $424.99. But I didn't pay the full amount up front. I just placed the order on the website. It did pickup in the store and used PayPal to pay, and that divided it into 4, because PayPal Pay in 4 is your best friend if you don't have a lot of money to just blow at one time. Because What PayPal Pay in 4 does, and I've explained this a few times before, is you don't have to have credit. You don't have any interest involved. Basically, what they'll do is they'll just divide your total into 4 payments. You pay the first one at the time that you make the order. 2 weeks later, you make the second payment. 2 weeks after that, you make the third payment. And 2 weeks after that, you make the fourth and final payment. And I think the max is $1,500. Now, when you first do PayPal in 4, I think they may limit you to $600. But after you've done it for a while and a few times and not had any issues with your payments and stuff, they'll allow you to go up to that $1,500 limit. Because that's what I have. But I believe I started at like a $600 limit. And that may have just been how it was back then. You might just be able to do that up to $1,500 now. But just keep in mind, like, you don't want to screw that up, you know. So like if if you buy something for like $1,400, you better make those payments, and they're automatic drafted too. So I mean, if you don't have the money in there, it's just gonna screw you. But yeah, that's not necessarily a GameStop thing. That's just that's one of the advantages to shopping at GameStop. Now understand that, you know, a lot of the employees will try to push things on you, but all you have to do is just say no. And as long as you're friendly and kind, the more you do that, you know, they're gonna stop asking you all the time, you know, because they're gonna know that you're gonna say no because they've dealt with you plenty of times. So it does suck. I mean, they should treat their employees better than they do. I 100% agree with that. And they should pay them more money. I mean, hell, when I went to pick up my PS5, this was probably a week or two before Christmas. It was Saturday at like 2 p.m. and the dude was working by himself. And it was busy. And I felt so bad for him. And I know it's not his fault, but, you know, there was a line, and I had to stand there and wait like 15 minutes to pick up my order. But that's really the only time that I've been there and been like, man, this sucks. But it's not even his fault. You know, it's corporate's fault because they're not staffing the stores properly. But yeah, shopping there in general is pretty fucking cool. Pretty fucking awesome. And another thing about the resellers too is they talk all this shit about them, but then they have no problem going in there doing the 4 for 20, the 4 for 40, the buy 2 get 1 free sales. They have no problem dealing with that. They have no problem taking advantage of GameStop, but they would totally be happy if GameStop shut down. And then that's a narrative that YouTube pushes a lot about GameStop, is they say, I don't think they're going to last another year. I can't tell you how many years I've heard people say that. They're like, this is probably their last year. I literally think they've been going out of business, according to YouTubers, for like 10 years. They're not going to go anywhere, man. Especially if they're selling trading cards. And actually, they're kind of a honey hole for trading cards right now because a lot of people don't shop there for that kind of stuff. So, and also you could pre-order, you know, you could pre-order cards. Especially like in Pokemon right now, that's a good advantage. Because, man, Surging Sparks, which is the newest Pokemon card set, has been damn near impossible to get for the past like month or so. I was blessed to get a bunch of it when it first came out, but then Prismatic Evolutions is coming out in a couple of weeks, and I don't know how much of that I'm gonna get, you know, because the pre-orders for that were basically gone like instantaneously. Man, but you know, you deal with that with Nintendo and Pokemon products all the time. There's always some kind of shortage. Sometimes it's intentional to make it more you know, desired, which I think is bullshit. It's like, dude, just sell us all the shit. You know what I mean? Like when Nintendo, and not to really get off the topic or anything, but when Nintendo stopped selling the classic systems like the NES and the Super Nintendo, that kind of sucked. Like they should have just, like, you should still be able to go to a store and buy those because they're not that expensive to manufacture and distribute. You know, and it's something that is guaranteed to sell basically forever, you know, because everyone is going to be nostalgic for an NES or an SNES. I mean, out of 6 billion people on the planet, at least 1 billion people know about Nintendo and probably would be people that would buy that. But I guess they just want you to have the Switch and and then sign up for their Switch Online. But yeah, man, I've kind of trailed off at this point. I appreciate you guys watching, man. Let me know what you think below. I know that this is a hot take. A lot of people hate GameStop, and but I mean, as long as you know how to shop there and you're a responsible buyer, you know, with this credit card, and you don't even need to have the credit card. You could just have the regular Pro membership. You know, pay the $25, you get 5% off of everything in the store pretty much, and you get the $5 certificate every month. So basically it's like, I'm gonna give you $25 and you guys are gonna give me $60 over the course of a year, and those promos will stack with all kinds of other promos that they run. So yeah, I mean, I don't see the problem as far as being a customer at GameStop goes. As long as you know when to trade in, you know, you're good. But yeah, other than the employee stuff, how they treat them from a corporate level, I think GameStop is great. And I hope they don't go anywhere, because I feel like that will just make the reseller market worse. And in general, it's going to make shit worse. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.